Dan, we have a lot of old homes here in Rhode Island, and they have a lot of crawl spaces. And I know how much that's your favorite thing to do, but mold can happen a lot in crawl spaces. And I know that's our topic today. So I'd love to be able to share some 411 with our listeners on your thoughts on crawl spaces and mold.
Quite bluntly, they are nasty, ugly places. They are some of the most unpleasant things that you can think of crawling into. Last week, I went down to do an estimate down in Charlestown, down by the water.
Yeah.
And I popped open the hatch to get in there, dropped down, and it was quite literally raining in the crawl space.
Oh.
And it wasn't from a water leak. First thing I saw was the insulation was hanging down from in between the floor joists, and that was because it was so soggy, and it was just simply trapped humidity. And it was so much trapped humidity that if you took the insulation and squeezed it like a sponge, it would come out just like a wet sponge. I looked around. There were light fixtures and electrical sockets that were dripping water. To start with, you should never have insulation in a crawl space up against the floor, in between the floor joists, up against the subflooring.
Why?
Because as I just explained, it gets all wet. It holds the humidity up against the organic structure, the organic materials.
Yep.
You put water, the right temperature, and some mold spores together, and you're going to get mold growth. First thing we did was, we built containment so that we didn't spread any of the spores. But first thing was we got rid of all the insulation.
Okay.
Pulled it all out, and then we set up some air movers and dehumidifiers, and we walked away. We covered the hatch with containment so that it wouldn't spread, but we walked away for 3 days just to let it dry out. It was just so soggy, so wet in there. I came back, I did some humidity test and tested the water content in the building materials, and it had gotten down to normal. And at that point, we then put in a vapor barrier. The whole idea between a vapor barrier is to put it down over the either stone or dirt to stop the humidity from entering into the crawl space. Then we did the mold remediation. That sat then for 2 days, and then we put in a commercial grade dehumidifier. I let that run for a couple of days, and I went back and did my post-job inspection, and I was crawling around on all fours with a grin